Hey everybody, what's up? What's up? What's up? I know you're seeing me in like the daylight. I know it's crazy. But this is a very, very special episode that we're doing today because our guest co-host is a very busy person. So when I'm able to get him, get him here, that's when I got him here. So thank you so much for joining. It's your girl, the Mary Jane Maven. I hope everybody's having a blessed and prosperous week. I can speak. I hope that you guys are all full of good wealth, health, and vibes. Love and light to everybody. This episode is actually going to focus on networking and the importance of networking. Networking in all aspects of your life, whether that be your personal, because networking can help you to build relationships and friendships, of course, and in your personal life and a combination, professional and personal. But it can do so many positive things. This guest co host that we have today is somebody that I think has definitely perfected um, the resurgence and the importance of networking, especially the face to face kind of networking and the events that happen here locally in the city of trees in Sacramento. I told him the other day, I'm so happy I'm no longer hosting events like this because I wouldn't want him to be my competition. And he's very, very humble. And he says, no, there's plenty out there, which is a great mindset to have. So before I blab on anymore, I do want to introduce you to somebody who I consider somebody to be a great, great acquaintance, somebody that I'm very happy to have known on the business sense of things. He definitely helped me to develop who I am now because he used to bring so many people to my networking events, which helped me to kind of move my brand along. If you are in Sacramento, this name is synonymous with events, and the person that is the one that you go to for any kind of business consulting, any type of social events. This is a man. So I want to welcome our guest co-host. I want to thank him for taking time out of his busy day. And I welcome him to the Menage with Mary Jane Maven show, Trevor Fong. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share at least some of my experiences and some of the stuff we have coming up this month and next, at least.
Yes, and it's been something that has been long awaited because we
Yeah.
all know we were grounded last year, and you really couldn't have these events. But I've noticed that you've slowly started collaborating and doing other events with other networking organizations,
Yeah.
and a couple of events that's going on. So before we really jump into it, you guys know I have to start every episode with a quote. So let me get into the quote that I chose today, and all right. So, as I just mentioned, networking is not collecting contacts. Networking is about planting relationships. I love that one because that is very true. And I have one more, and I think this definitely describes a little bit of why Trevor's events are so good and why he's such a genuine person and why he's such a success. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And that's from Zig Ziglar. And that's the kind of vibe that I get from being around Trevor, being with people at his events, seeing how people are waiting in line to like take pictures with you. I feel like, pretty soon they're going to start bringing, t-shirts for you to sign and shit like that. Um, but is that part of your motivation for doing what you do is being able to allow to help other people?
It's evolved into that. Initially, 5 years ago, when I opened up, my first business, it was such a struggle for me to make ends meet and pay rent. And it was really hard on me to continue to go out and ask people to want to meet with me or want to talk to me. And, I just
Yeah.
got tired of it. And my
Yeah.
thought was I could do an event where people would come to me if I just put on a really good event or show, which luckily I was able to. But, my goal for networking initially was get people interested in me. And once the platform or the event took off, then I realized I also had a duty to make sure that other people got the same exposure opportunities that I had. So that's been kind of like the goal of this thing is to open doors for everybody,
Yeah.
because once you open doors for someone else, it does so much more for you in return that way.
Absolutely. I know that's why I do what I do. It's all about, leaving a footprint of significance in the lives
Yeah.
of others in a positive way.
Yeah.
And that's what you're able to do. So take a couple of moments and just let the people know who are you? How would you describe yourself? Or, when you meet somebody, what's your like 30-second kind of elevator pitch about yourself.
Now when I meet people, I just introduce myself. I let them know a little bit about my business. It's probably like 2 sentences. I'm an insurance agent in Sacramento, California, focusing on auto and home insurance.
Mhm.
But quickly, I transitioned to more the personal side. I let them know that I love to come to these events. I really enjoy introducing them, and usually, because even for me, I'm very actually introverted initially. Like I'll look for people around me and try to make it where it's like I can introduce them to someone. So
Yeah.
quickly, if I find out what they do, whether it's in finance or a specific industry, I'll know who's in the room just because it's my event, and I kind of grab the person that they should meet. So most of my time now, just because I still think I have a little bit of awkwardness meeting people, I try to think immediately like, what can I do or how can I help them? So my
Mhm.
mind always goes to like, what guests should they meet?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
initially when I'm talking, as much as I'll introduce myself, sometimes I don't even get to tell them about me. I'll just say, hey, thanks for coming. What do you do? And if they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm in, commercial real estate, I'm like, oh, there's like some business owners you should meet over
Yeah.
here. I'll make sure to introduce
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
that's like my mind has changed from that elevator speech now to how can I introduce or grow their opportunities.
Yeah. And I like that you have that. What's so funny is if you guys follow him or you see his post about his events, or people will tag him and post their own events, at least 2 or 3 times you see somebody come in and go, "Look at Trevor trying to act like he's, shy or nervous." It's
Oh, I
so funny
am.
that you think that that's like what, what you're putting out, but you're not. Like it doesn't come off that way to other people like, "Oh, he's shy, he's awkward," or whatever else. It just really seems like you're just kind of like a laid back person, very friendly, very personable,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, you get down to business.
Yeah.
That's something that I learned doing networking because as you guys all know, I talk a lot. And, I I would get to my events, meet
Yeah.
people, and not to jeopardize their time, I had to make sure that I got away from talking so much about what I do and, you know, allowing them to connect with other people. So, it's a special talent remembering 100 plus people in the room
Yeah.
and what they do and who you can connect to, but if you can do that, that's what helps to make you a success, and that's one of the reasons that I think people are so drawn to you.
Yeah.
Um so I know we met a couple of times and we were talking about it before you started it, and I was like, "Yes, do it." Like,
Yeah.
do you see the image that you have? And you're like, "What image?" And that's once again, I'm gonna keep saying this, that's what's so refreshing about you is you don't see kind of the influence or the status you hold in the city.
Yeah.
Um,
Still trying to figure it out. I feel like sometimes I
yeah.
feel like everyone else where I just want to, meet new people. When you meet someone new, whether they've heard about you or not, you're starting fresh from scratch. So I
Mhm.
think my mindset is always in that like build up mode where I know I have a lot to accomplish.
Yeah.
Especially when I meet people, that's why I'm shy around a lot of people because I really don't know them or I don't know much about them. So I think at the end of the day, we're all in that room for a specific
Mhm.
purpose. And
Mhm.
I'm still probably not the best lead by example yet. There's still a lot of people that I admire that I see in the room that are a
Yeah.
little more confident, a little more smiley, or a little happier. And I try to feed off that energy. But it's always a ever evolving thing. But certainly from when I started to now, things have changed significantly.
Yeah, most definitely. So I like that you mentioned that your purpose is to help people and make those connections.
Yeah.
I noticed one of the other things that you do with your events is you'll have, maybe another brand there. I know one of the first events that you did, you partnered with I want to say she's a person and luxury like bag kind of designer, if I'm
Yeah.
not
So we
mistaken.
did. We brought in her Kickstarter launch party into it because she was trying to do her own around the same time. So I said,
Hmm.
just come into mine. And I thought there was value there because she had started completely from scratch using Kickstarter as a funding program.
Yeah.
So for me, that shows that you can live in this world and create and bring stuff into it, and you don't
Hmm.
have to have money to do it. You just have to have the dream and the effort. And
Yeah.
she used that Kickstarter. So I wanted her to come in and just kind of be an inspiration for those who, maybe at one point had a dream, but it wasn't realistic because of the resources. So they went and followed a different career path. But I
Yeah.
thought her overall branding and her how that came together was amazing. So it inspired me. She was like the first business girl I knew out of my circle that like went and started their own thing.
And had that perseverance and had that drive and that motivation and those things as an entrepreneur can be kind of waning.
Yeah.
You can feel passionate about it, but then you may hit a bump in the road and then that
Yeah.
passion just kind of died. So being able to keep that going is a strength that is admirable about entrepreneurs. So
Yeah.
shout out to her. Is that something that you see that you will continue implementing within the different events that you throw?
That,
Bringing in
that's been
new
the goal. I
businesses?
mean, it's hard because I don't know necessarily the best stage or platform to do it on.
Mhm.
But one thing we've talked about, not for this month's mixer, but for August going forward, I would like to bring in and showcase, 4 local companies or people at a time and have them share their story. And I think, depending on how this one goes, I think for August we would have like some kind of like MC and someone that's actually kind of hosting it a little more and
Mhm.
introducing people.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to open it up a little more in August as we see how this first one goes on July 29th.
Very good. And I was going to say, give us some information about the next event. And I would love to talk to you about any future events because I think a kind of focus on businesses of color
Yeah.
that are in Sacramento would be a great platform to start off on. So,
No, absolutely. And the point of these mixers is to have equal opportunity for everybody in there,
mhm.
every type of business, every type of individual. But, for this mixer, just so you know, too, it's July 29th
Yeah.
from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Mix. Everything is on Eventbrite or the Instagram pages that are going through on the screen right now.
Mhm.
But it's a free event, and I don't have any intentions of ever charging for it. The goal here is
Okay.
to give everyone a chance to come in and meet people, whether
Mhm.
they're buying drinks or food or not. If you're a new business owner with very little money, you can just show up to this for a few hours, promote your business,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost you $1 if you choose not to even open your wallet. So
Yeah.
it's great for people because when I first started, I was so negative in starting my business that I didn't have a lot of money to buy rounds of drinks or tickets to
Mhm.
events or even I think when I met you, it's like they like these tickets every week, it adds up when you can
Yeah.
put food on the table for your family or yourself.
Yeah.
So I try to remove the barriers to entry. It's a free event. You can come, show up, drink if you want, but really you can show up for free and promote your business. So
Yeah.
July 29th is the next one, 4 to 8 p.m. at Mix.
And I'm going to admit, when I hosted networking events, I definitely understood the importance of allowing people to feel comfortable and coming when they had the money or when
Yeah.
they didn't. So people would show up and I'd be like, you know what? Just promise me next time. And I think this is how the first time that you came, other than how we were connected through
Yeah.
Janice, shout out. Um, but you came and a couple people were coming to meet you and I said, you know what? Just come back next time and bring 10 of your friends. You
Yeah.
guys all came back and I think you bought like 50.
Yeah.
So that, and that's something that you do is in building those relationships. But like you said, it's very important, especially when people are just now getting back to the swing of things, maybe just getting back to work. You
Yeah.
know, I know a lot of people that became entrepreneurs during this last 15 months or so. So when you're an entrepreneur, the money's not flowing as, when you are a salaried employee. So it's super important to be able to have those, opportunities, but not go broke doing so.
Yeah.
Um, and I can tell you guys, his events, okay, come dressed, okay, because everybody in there comes dressed um, to a T. Come put your best foot forward. You will meet some awesome people.
Yeah.
You know, um, if you don't have money in your pocket to drink, then just come and have some water. Have business cards, and just like I said, put your best foot forward, but then
Yeah.
have some fun because it definitely turns into a little bit of a party. I will say.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And then
Yes.
that's actually after from 8 to 8 p.m. to midnight. We do a second DJ set. This one we're gonna get a little funky and do some Motown Monday vibes, and
Okay.
so yeah, so it'll be fun. But yeah, so business up front, party in the back.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. That should be on a t-shirt there. I think you should put that on there. So who has been the biggest influence on your life?
No, I've had a lot of great people, I think, mentor me. Like my family's always been like the voice of reason. They're
Mhm.
very humble. They're very low key. They've always tried to just tell me like pay your bills, put food on the table, and that's all that's important. And
Mhm.
then I've had business mentors who I look up to. There's people around me that I hang around with, like Taro, who I think does an amazing job promoting McCooney and his
Yeah.
brand. My former mentor, who has since retired, taught me a lot about marketing and being outside my comfort zone. He's like, you
Mhm.
can't get business sitting at your desk. You have to go out and meet people. You have to go
Yeah.
earn that business. There's been a lot of people that I've learned from. It hasn't been just one, but there's probably like 10, 20 people that I've learned from. And I think that's what I do now well. And maybe that's why I network with so many people is there hasn't been a single person that's taught me everything.
Mhm.
Everything I've learned, either through networking, through business, through marketing, through family life, through friendships, it's been a collective effort of a group of people.
Yeah.
Like my friends, I have like 15 real close friends that I go to for different things.
Mhm.
Even in my family, I talk to them all about different things. What I talk to my mom about is not what I talk to my dad about. My
Mhm.
brothers and sisters are all very different.
Yeah.
So I've learned that to be successful in life, you have to embrace. Um, it takes a village, right, to
Yeah.
raise a child. So
Yeah.
in my business and in my personal life, I take that same concept, which is relying on many people for different things. I have some friends that are really good at relationship stuff. I have some friends that are really good in business, and I also have some
Mhm.
friends that are just really well balanced, that are very wise, and I go to them all for different issues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I mean, it's what you're saying, and I love that you are not just, encompassing it into a business aspect, but everybody plays a role in your life.
yeah,
Everybody, they're, like you'll say there's a chapter, that every people that in your life, some may not be there by the next chapter,
yeah.
some may be there through the entire end of your story.
Well, we're
Um,
on different timelines too. Like so I've
yeah.
had friends that have, had kids and are completely
Mhm.
tapped out of, a certain social life, and I have people
Yeah.
that are 1,000% invested in their business, and that's okay. Life is all about timing, and but right now, I lean on people that need me, and vice versa, and I think
Mhm.
that's been a great co-partnership in life. So a lot of people I trust, I just lean on.
Yeah. So tell a little bit about your glow up per se. Because I know people when I have guests on that are successful, people
Mhm.
automatically think, oh, they didn't have to work for it, or they've always been successful, or this was just handed to them through family.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't have to tell us everywhere that you work, but you did start off just like many of us do, graduating high school, probably had just a regular job in high school or shortly thereafter. Um, so kind of share a little bit about your journey and and how you've gotten to where you are now.
I was very fortunate enough to go to private school for high school and college, so I do have my diploma and my degree, but I was probably the lowest SAT score in the class. I only got into one college. I did graduate with a business marketing degree, but I
Hmm.
graduated during the recession, so really hard to find a job. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
actually worked retail from age 18 all the way to age about 28, so 10
Yeah.
years in retail. It
Wow.
wasn't until I went through some major life changes that I started to take my career path a little more seriously. A
Hmm.
lot of my friends were super smart. A lot of them around me became lawyers, or went and got you know their graduate degrees and were
Hmm.
super successful. And I always felt
Yeah.
like I was like the least successful because, the most I really made hourly was like $15,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
retail, and the rest of it came in commission.
Hmm.
But I never had a clear path to a nice career.
Yeah.
I got recruited for my insurance agency through LinkedIn, and at the time it was just the right time. But when I started the insurance office, there was no book of business to get me.
Hmm.
So I started
Hmm.
completely from scratch, and I went into debt. 50 over 50,000. It was very
Wow.
tough. I was probably never going to be homeless because I have family that probably would have obviously helped me or taken care of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But starting out, when I started this business, I didn't know anyone that was doing insurance. When I quoted friends and family, it just didn't make sense. They were already in
Hmm.
a good place with their
Hmm.
insurance. So
Yeah.
I really had to rely on door knocking early on. I
Wow.
attended one mixer a week, probably for the first 3 years of my office. I'm starting my 6th year now. So the first 3 years were really tough. I used to wear, clothes I'd get from like, Kohl's. I'd wear a nice polo,
Yeah.
slacks, dress shoes. I didn't dress as casual as I do today, but I would just go out and meet people, and I would pass out business cards to everyone I'd meet, hoping they'd reach back out to me. But after 3, 4, 5 years of doing that now, I'm 100% referral. Like I don't really do much outbound
Wow.
marketing other than my events or just answering my social media accounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's changed a lot. It's like going to the gym. Your first day in the gym is going to be different from your fifth
Hmm.
year if you work strategically and hard and you're smart about how you're improving. And I feel like that's what I did over my 5 years is I made strategic adjustments, but I
Yeah.
stayed with it for a long time. I don't like change. I like to do things the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do 10 years in retail, anybody that could do 10 years in retail, I give it to you. You
Yeah.
definitely build up a tough skin though, and you build up skills that you don't even realize you have until you start to utilize them in another
Yeah.
career
Yeah.
or else,
Exactly.
another time in your life. So that's awesome because I know I did 2 days in retail. I got through the day and a half of Mervin's, and then they put us on the floor and they told us to go fold clothes, and I was
Yeah.
like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it to you because it's not, holidays and things like that. And that's, retail is a 365 kind of deal.
Yeah.
So to do that time there. That's awesome. So what's the biggest challenge that you have with your specific role right now? Let's say, as you know, as kind of being an entrepreneur, but also creating, this networking and kind of entertainment, aspect. What would you say is the biggest challenge?
I think if you're asking, like, you're asking today's challenges, I have
Mhm,
two
mhm.
big ones that I know what they are. I think number one is time. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I have enough time to really give to everybody. I get messages throughout the week or on the weekends of people inviting me to, whether it be a birthday or something
Mhm.
special gathering, and I just can't make all of them. It's very
Yeah.
hard for me to miss it, and I don't feel good when I'm not there or I say I'm busy. It's not a good feeling. And the
Yeah.
second thing is too is early on in my career, I had a lot of issues. Just I didn't have enough people I knew. That was the biggest issue. I didn't know enough. Now it's kind of the reverse problem where I probably don't need to meet any more people. I probably have everything I need right in front of me.
Yeah.
But now it's just about how do I evolve these relationships when that time piece is missing.
Mhm.
Relationships, connections, building up referral partnerships. Those things happen over time with the
Yeah.
time you invest in them. So me being shorthanded on time and also knowing too many meeting too many
Mhm.
people too quickly,
Mhm.
it's definitely affecting how efficient I am.
Yeah,
So
and
I have to
it's kind of a role conflict for you.
yeah, it's very hard.
Because yeah, yeah, and then you are, a father as well,
Yeah, father of two.
relationships. Yeah, you have a personal life. So
Yeah.
I can definitely understand on time. What would you say if that's a goal for yourself? I set goals to myself 3 months in quarters basically. Like I think of the year. But would you
Yeah.
say that it's a goal for yourself within the next 6 months to a year to kind of be able to get that time, if and that efficiency?
Yeah, maybe
Um,
even sooner, because
yeah,
summer's going by so quickly. We're already,
yeah,
in mid-July coming into
I
August.
know.
I really want to get better on time so that, I have my me time where I get to the gym. I
Mhm.
make time for myself. I invest time in friends and new relationships and old
Yeah,
relationships, and then making sure that that time with the family is unbothered, and then making sure, because my daughter starts school, I think in the fall officially. So, now her schedule
wow.
gets busy, right? So now she has
Oh,
less
yeah,
time because she has to invest in school. So I think it only gets harder. So, I've been reading books. The only books I'm reading right now are books on either mindset for personal growth or habits that evolve to both personal and business. So I'm
yeah,
reading Atomic Habits right now by James Clear, which is an
okay,
amazing book for yourself or for your business or for your employees, your staff.
yeah.
I think it applies to all aspects of life about the habits affect what happens to you. So I'm trying to apply that concept to how my schedule is. So
And
that's
that's
kind of where I'm
perfect.
at.
And that's, he's dropping just nuggets here, guys. So I hope that you guys are paying attention to just the different things that he's saying.
Yeah.
That's something we should always do. I know a lot of people are like books. I don't
Yeah.
care what you do. Get them on Audible, get them on, the Kindle app on your phone.
I'm
You
old school. I get
definitely,
paper books. I can't do the Kindle and stuff. I'm not
yeah.
as techy as people think.
Yeah, I don't wanna do that. I actually miss moving the pages and smelling the books, but
Oh
I've
yeah.
always been an avid reader, so,
Yeah.
um, that's something that I think that that's part of self-care, that and a piece of advice I would give out to people, try to read a book, if not a week, a month.
Yeah.
1 book per month, whether it be for fun, whether it be for self-improvement, personal development, business development. Just take the time to do that. That definitely adds to your self-care. If you
Yeah.
go get your nails done, take that book with you. If you're on the treadmill, take that book with you. It definitely helps to give you a different insight, and it allows you to be a little bit more accountable
Yeah.
um, for your changes. Yeah,
I think
I
I've
love
noticed too when I read or discuss these things with other people, my brain starts thinking differently,
that.
and sometimes just boosting your thought process opens
Yeah,
up a lot of doors.
yeah,
So
one
yeah, it's
thousand
very
percent.
big.
I like that you say that too, because we don't we have our phones so much. I mean, all
Yeah.
my notes and everything on my phone, but it does so much for us. It does so much of our thinking for us that you're absolutely right, because the conversations that you have or just your personal thoughts when you read a book, that's
Yeah.
allowing your creativity and, like you said, for your mind to work. And I think it misses that. I think our brain
Yeah.
definitely misses the ability to work a little bit more for us.
Yeah.
Um, well, yeah, everybody's gonna be surprised. I promised I was gonna keep this to about half an hour. So I have just a couple more questions, and then
Yeah.
we'll
You're
go ahead
good.
and let you talk about the event. Just remind everybody about it. What would be your advice to your children? Let's say, flash forward, your daughter 13 years from now, comes to you and says, I'm not sure if college is the right choice for me. Maybe, I want to go ahead and join the business, or I want to be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. What would you say? What would be your response to that?
I think about this a lot because for me, school um, never felt like I probably got what I should have out of it. I
Hmm.
was never a
Hmm.
studious person, but I understand the importance of accountability and habits.
Hmm.
So knowing that now, like if I could talk to a younger version of myself, or even a younger, my daughter as she gets older, I've realized that things eventually change. Problems go away on their own sometimes,
Hmm.
but the result or where we end up in the future is a result of what we do today.
Yeah.
So, the next few years are going to go by. College is going to come and go. It's a short window. If your life, it's only 4 years. The
Yeah.
average person, I think, lives to like 90 now, or 85 or 90, right? Is the
Yeah.
average life expectancy.
Yeah.
So 4 years of that is what, 0.5%, or like what is a couple percent of your
Yeah.
actual life, right? So
Yeah.
2.5, whatever the numbers are in that, but it's a very short
Mhm.
window of your life.
Yeah.
So I think what I would tell my daughter, or just whoever now, is invest that time and just enjoy it, because 4 years of college goes by. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But
So fast.
going there will help you self discover what you really
Hmm.
are. When
Hmm.
you're younger, especially in your teens and 20s, you're still figuring out where
Yeah.
your place is in life.
Yeah.
And for me, I always rushed to try to get to the end result,
Mhm.
and I never enjoyed the process. So that's like,
Yeah.
now I'm paying consequences for that. Now I'm going backwards, trying to figure out how do I enjoy this more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
hope that people understand that everything you do in life is not for today, it's for tomorrow. You have to live in the present, but work for
Yep.
tomorrow. And I think that
Yeah.
mindset is something I'd want my daughter to have. I'd want her to seriously look at what she's doing today and go through the struggle and learn from it, and then come out with a little more character at the end.
Yeah.
So I would
And just
encourage
be
them to
better for
just
it.
do it and learn from it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You're giving me chills because that's
Yeah.
that. Yeah. See? Yes. Applause. 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 I love
Yeah.
that. So, last question, and then, like I said, please share with us. I'm going to be at the event next week, guys. So you
Okay.
better be there as well. But last question is, what do you want to be remembered for, or how would you like to be remembered?
And are we talking to, like, as far as like business entrepreneur side, or to like my kids?
Everything, like on, like when you think about it, and I don't want to be morbid, but what would you like for people to say? To say about you, their best memory, whatever it may be personal, business, whatever that may be. I know for
I've
me, mine
realized
is
that,
that
yeah,
she's passionate
yeah.
because that's yeah.
I think just really simple, just that he was, if something happened to me and someone had to ask about me, I would just say it, would hope they would say that he was a fun, loving, giving, caring person.
Yeah.
The other stuff maybe sounds good, like it'd be nice to say that guy was cool, that guy was, like trendsetter, whatever the
Mhm.
terms
Mhm.
are now. But just as long as they had good things to say, and they said that he was
Yeah.
loving, fun, caring, and that,
Yeah.
I was better off in my life having him than not having him. That's simple. Like, I
Yes.
don't need anything super crazy. As I've gotten older, I've kind of outgrown all the stuff I thought I cared about. And
Mhm.
I've realized now that one thing that has lasted is I loved being a kid. I loved growing up and having fun and doing
Yeah.
stupid stuff. And even today, sometimes being mischievous or doing stupid things, it's funny. It's the laughs, the memories.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at a birthday dinner last night, and the best part was just telling jokes and telling stories about the friendship. It was a good friend's
Mhm.
birthday, and the best part was just laughing, telling them stories that we had done over the last few weeks. And
Yeah.
to me, that was better than any gift we could open or give her. So I think just having those fun, amazing memories, and then people sharing it. That's all I would want.
Yeah. That's so super important.
Yeah,
Whenever we get together with our friends from college, that's what it's like. And we always end up going, man, if we could go back or just be together for like a week again,
yeah,
and but it is very, I think that's one of the most important parts of life.
yeah,
When you can look back on the times where you're like, man, we were just sitting around talking shit. We were just sitting around the bonfire, or we were just, we've been kicked out of so many restaurants because once we're there, we eat for hours and
yeah,
they're like, okay, we're cleaning up around you guys. Can you guys go now? Take it outside. But
yeah,
it's time flies, but you appreciate it.
yeah,
And I feel so confident in saying that that is exactly how you will be remembered, because that is, those are everything that you said. I think those are the most common descriptions that I hear of you.
yeah,
You're so busy at your events, but me being around, and when you're there, people go, well, do you know Trevor? Well, how do you
yeah,
know him? And then you end up sharing, a mutual feeling, thought, antidote, something about you. I've talked to so many
Yeah.
people who I've been able to meet who end up, are closer to you in your circle. So one thing I will say is that you guys about the events is that Sacramento is growing so much, but it's also so small,
Yeah.
especially when you network and collaborate. So these are the events that right now, especially if you're trying to get back out there, I know I've met a couple of people that come to events just because they've moved to the area to meet people socially. So it's funny. I've seen people used to come to my event singly, and then months later they were coming together. I've
Yeah.
seen it at a couple of your events as well. People that met at the first event, now that's where they meet up once a month. So it can definitely help you a couple of ways. It can help you with your business, your personal side. It can also help you with your business and professional side. So you guys definitely get on Eventbrite, check it out. But why don't you go ahead and leave us with once again the date, the time, and anything that you want to say about it. And I'm going to let you get back to your busy day.
Yeah, so July 29th, which is next Thursday at the Mix downtown. It's a free event, 4 to 8 p.m. and then 8 p.m. till midnight. We're going to do two DJ sets. The first one was house music by my buddy Alex Gold. Second one is some Motown funk from 8 to midnight from DJ Epic, who also does Motown Mondays at Lowbrow. But really
Yeah.
good time. So I think the goal of these events is multiple things. It's a place where you can come meet other like-minded professionals, business owners. You can make new friends there. You can bring your friends and have a great time. It's definitely a more professional environment than would be like a standard club night. It's somewhere where you can come out if you have business cards and pass out, and get new people in your circle. I've had people come to these events and make new friends. I've had people come to these events and close deals. But the
Hmm.
door is wide open. There's really no tricks to it. You either come to have fun or come to promote your business, and I think it'll really be a good spot to do it. It's probably the largest mixer in Sacramento that's free and open
Yeah.
to the public, so it's
Yeah.
definitely a good time. But July 29th, 4 to 8 p.m. is the initial networking side, and I'd love to meet some of you people there, some of the guests, the listeners. I mean, whatever it takes. I'd love to see you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I would love for you guys to come on up and say, "Hey, heard about, from
Yeah,
the podcast. I'm here." That would mean so much. I think to both of us as, entrepreneurs and creators. But
yeah,
I do want to thank you so much. You guys, if you've listened and watched before, you know that I've talked about his events. I've shouted him out a couple of different times. And I'll continue to do so. I really cherish and I'm thankful for being able to meet and be connected with you and for the kind of, business acquaintanceship that we have.
yeah,
Um, and anytime I've asked anything of you just to meet up to talk about some things, you've been right there. So I appreciate
yeah.
that. Yeah, so you guys come on out next week. Trevor, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time. And if you ever need anything, your girl, come on, let's shout it out. You can use my platform to share. So
Yeah.
you guys, thank you so much for joining. Like I said, I know it's early. I will be back with a couple more episodes this week. So make sure that your notifications are on. Make sure that you like this episode as well. Subscribe, share, shout me out. You guys know how to get in contact with me. And don't forget, I am now on Full Swap Radio as well. FullSwapRadio.com. You can find the show a couple of days a week. Actually, this is on Sundays. So Menage is on Sundays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can go on and download the app, or you can go ahead and listen live through the website. So Full Swap Radio, I'm now part of that fam. You guys have a great day. Love and light to you as always. And you will see me soon. Thanks again, Trevor. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.